Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of How to Survive Survival. I'm so grateful that you have decided to spend your next hour with me and my upcoming guest, who is Simon Lee Maryan. He is a former Royal Marines Commando. I'm not really even sure what that means, who later worked as a specialist human intelligence officer operating in high stress and hostile environments all over the world. And here is a fact about him that is pretty much mind blowing. He has survived three separate kidnapping ordeals. So aside from that, he is an international speaker. He's a coach. He's a trainer. He's a PhD in psychology and counselor. And those experiences that he talks about and travels all over the world sharing have shaped how he understands resilience and recovery, which is really his specialty. These experiences have also helped him develop a practical, evidence-informed tool that he now teaches all over the world. He's worked with everyone from the UK military to the FBI to the New York Police Department, including their counterterrorism and hostage negotiation teams. And in this episode, at the time of this recording, I was going through a very stressful time in my personal life, and Simon very graciously and generously counseled me through it. We didn't have that planned, but he walked me through some really valuable breathing and like mental exercises that I have carried with me through the last several months. If you follow me on social media, then you know that my life has been kind of stressful because we are moving internationally and the locations keep changing. So Simon is he's a good friend and he's a wonderful person. And I hope you'll enjoy this episode. Hi, I'm Jessica Buchanan, and this is How to Survive Survival. This podcast is about what comes after the crisis, after the moment that changes everything, after you've done what you had to do just to get through. Each week, I sit down with people who faced hardship and made a deliberate choice about what to do with it. People who've turned pain into purpose, who found a way to make meaningful contribution because of what they survived, not in spite of it. Because survival isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of who you become next. Welcome to the show. Simon, thank you so much for joining me today. I know it's first thing in the morning for me and later in the
Yes.
afternoon for you. But I'm so grateful for your time. I would love to just start at the very beginning. No, take us back to what has prompted your work that we're going to dig into here in just a few minutes. Would you mind giving us just a small snapshot of your story?
Yeah, sure. So it really, what I do now really stemmed from my own experiences of kidnapping.
Yeah.
I've been in the unusual position of being on all sides of that wonderful facet of life. Um, I've been lucky enough to have been rescuing hostages. I've negotiated the release of. Um, Successfully mostly, one
Mhm.
not, unfortunately,
Mhm.
and having been kidnapped three times in the course of my work, which is ridiculous.
I mean, as someone who's been kidnapped once, I
Yeah.
just can't
Yeah.
imagine having survived that three times.
Well, you have more bloody sense than I do, for one. You didn't go back and do it again. So,
Well, some would not agree with you on that one, but I appreciate that.
um, yeah, it was just kidnapped twice in Nigeria. So
Mm,
the irony of this, I got kidnapped 3 years on the bounce, 2006, 7, and 8.
wow.
First two in Nigeria, and the last one was in Sweden, which is a no place you'd never expect.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think I missed that in we've had several conversations. So in
Yes.
Sweden,
Yeah. I know. And this, it was as much of a bloody surprise to me as it is to you now.
you, I mean, I'm getting ready to move to Sweden, so I should probably know more about this.
It was, yeah, it was an unfortunate fallout from the task I was on at the time and the people I was working with and
Yeah.
their connections. Um,
So it was very targeted.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I managed to intervene on the individual being taken, and in the process of that happening, I got taken.
Oh my goodness.
It's the only one I escaped from.
Wow. How long were
Um,
you held?
literally, it was the shortest
Mhm.
of all three.
Oh my goodness.
So it went from 9 days to 35 days to literally an hour.
Wow. Okay.
Um, but if I hadn't escaped,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't be talking because it was
Yeah.
definitely I was on a one-way trip for sure
Yeah. Oh my
because
goodness.
I'd screwed up their plans and
Mm.
so yeah, well, not unfortunately, I have no regrets whatsoever. I had
Yeah.
to yeah, I
So tell us
eliminated
how you
somebody else in
ended
the
up
process.
in these situations where
Sorry,
this
say
would
again.
tell us how you ended up in these situations where this would actually happen. What is your professional background?
So I'm former UK military. I was a Royal Marines Commando in the UK, and then I went on specialised in human intelligence work.
Okay.
So that was the latter part of my career, working as a contractor predominantly in the latter stages. So
Okay.
and it
So
was
these are professional hazards, if you will.
I guess you could put it that way. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Working in the countries I was in Nigeria at the time, it was the early stages of a resurgence of kidnappings in that
Yeah.
in West Africa at that
Yep.
point. Um, so I was there. I was unarmed. I was on my own. And myself and one other person were taken on the first one. The second one, there was myself and four others.
Hmm.
Uh, and this is where, as a result of the second one, I then started a PhD,
Okay. So
uh,
tell us about that.
and that was based around the things that I used for myself to maintain myself during those
Hmm.
35 days. I shared with the people with me because I was
Hmm.
the only one with any military experience. I was
Hmm.
certainly the only one that had been kidnapped before.
Yes.
Um, and Uh, so I kind of after that I thought actually there's some things here that are really useful
Hmm.
and that the things that consistently work over time to
Yeah.
help maintain um, my emotional state so that I stayed psychologically stable and resilient in order to make better decisions and handle the pressures of what's going on much more productively for me. And in
Now,
doing
were
that,
some of those tools things that you had learned the first time around?
it's things I'd kind of learned along the way, and then um, as things do with research, there were other things that I found along the way during my PhD that I actually added in along the way. So there was a couple of things that worked really well, and then some things that were not as consistently robust, I think would be a good word,
Okay.
under pressure.
Yeah.
Um, so that's how this came about, and this is the direct and then led the direction of my work since, really.
Tell us, if you don't mind, a few of the
Sure.
tools that you utilized, because I'd love to compare them to my list of tools.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, So one is a very simple thing. It kind of does what it says on the tin. It's called a negative thought pattern interrupt.
Hmm.
Um, because the aim of this is to interrupt our sympathetic nervous system taking over and our fight or flight kicking in.
Right. Okay.
So when we get into those, say, you can feel your head spinning at a million miles an
Yes.
hour,
Yes.
and then it's really hard to make sensible decisions because a British phrase is, you don't know which way your ass points.
Yep.
Um, and it's very hard to make a sensible decision because you don't know what to decide on.
Yeah.
So to slow that down and interrupt that negative, because the blinkers come on, we get channeled in
Yes.
thinking negatively and only focusing on the problem
Yep.
rather than solutions. So to slow our brain down, interrupt that thought pattern, that negative thought pattern, and that kind of slows that tornado of angst down so that you can actually start to make and go, ooh, gives you the ability to kind of step back.
Hmm.
And almost in those times, I was stepping back sufficiently that it was like an out of body experience, and I was watching myself, so that I was then going, okay, I really need to calm. I really need it was I need to calm you down, not
Hmm.
me. I was looking at myself, going, I need to calm you down so you can
Hmm.
actually keep yourself together.
And stay alive.
and stay alive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So so it's about changing the frequency that your brain is operating in so that you can disengage your fight or flight system strategically
Hmm.
to then follow on the next step is because when our fight or flight system kicks in, it, certain functions of the brain, some reduce in activity and others increase. Obviously, your survival system kicks in
Yeah.
and goes in overdrive, and then we're running from an emotional operating system,
Hmm.
which leads to often we think, say, and do things that aren't very useful in the moment.
Right. Yes. Or can get us killed,
Absolutely,
given the
yes,
situation. Yeah.
yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And I was, I was pretty adamant that I was not going to do that.
Yeah. I feel ya.
Kind of keen to clinging on to life, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I always say there's um, nothing more clear, like about your need and want and drive to stay alive than facing death every
Yeah,
single minute of every day. If you were ever a little bit like ambivalent about it, having a gun put in your face over and over again is going to make it very easy for you to make that decision.
yes,
So,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, it focuses your attention, that's for sure.
100%. So, like, how did you then have I guess, the emotional fortitude and the bandwidth to decide that you were going to take take these tools and that you had practiced that had worked for you into something as like, I don't know, as challenging and probably like very stressful as the world of academia.
Yeah, it is really stressful, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's one reason I'm a lifelong learner, but I'm afraid to go
Mm.
back and get more
Yeah.
education because it's very stressful. So, I mean, how did you manage that transition?
Well, I won't say I managed it particularly well to start with.
Well, we all, you're
Uh,
still here.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it was yeah, I found I had to be quite forceful in keeping things in the direction I wanted and not the way academia wanted it to go.
Okay.
Um, and there was obviously there was compromise along the way because it wasn't what I wanted to do wasn't necessarily wholly the right way
Okay.
to go about it. So there was, and that was the great thing about it was those interactions, those conversations about, right, yeah, I don't care what academia wants.
Yeah.
I want it. This is what because this is real. This is what's needed in real life in the
Mhm.
real world
Yeah.
outside of Disney world of academia.
Right.
Um, but their input in channeling and kind of fine tuning and chipping away at the right path to take with this and the right frame for it was really helpful. So
Okay.
I had some really good conversations that along the way to make that happen.
So, what made you decide to invest time, energy, intellectual property, most likely money or financial resources
Yeah.
into creating this several trademarked processes and modalities to help other people?
Well, I started off because I was doing sort of how do I know pro bono work with veterans and serving military who are struggling. So
Okay.
my focus within psychology has always been stress, trauma, and suicide.
Okay.
And these tools actually turned out initially to be as driven towards suicide intervention
Okay.
because they helped people regulate in the moment.
Now, is this like before your kidnapping experiences?
This was in the middle of it all.
In the middle. So
Yeah.
you're going through your own trauma and then you're also helping people in their own trauma.
Yeah, and it kind of helped me as well. It was quite cathartic along the way, you know.
Right? I mean, let's talk about that a little bit
Yeah.
because I think it's not a hypothesis, it's proven, but there is nothing that will get your butt out of bed faster and again, I am not a clinician and I am not black and white on anything. So, whoever's listening to this, please hear me. But I do think there is something to the practice of serving others that
Mhm.
helps us heal our own trauma.
Yes.
So, can you talk about that? Like, give us an example, perhaps, if you can think of one, like
Okay.
how that was true for you.
Yeah. Well, I guess because I've had the privilege of helping people who are kind of toes on the edge,
Hmm.
in the throes of making that terminal decision,
Yeah.
and having those conversations, and having been at that point myself years ago, it's kind of late 90s, 98. Um, I was in that position myself, so I know how it feels to have made that decision and the calm that comes with having made that decision and resigned yourself and accepted that okay, all this crap that's been going on, actually, I don't care about it now because there's an end point.
Yeah.
So that it was like being in the eye of the storm. It was really calm. All this shit's
Mhm.
still spinning around, spinning
Right.
around, but it's remarkably calm and peaceful. So being able to really relate to how that person was feeling in that moment,
Hmm.
I had a conversation with a guy who was um, stood in a chair with a noose around his neck, drinking a bottle of vodka, and the fact that I could really relate what I almost described by chance, the sensations he was feeling and the thoughts going through his head were almost exactly what was going on in that moment. He was
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit. How do you know?" And then I shared that I'd been at that point myself and I knew, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Wow, okay." And
Hmm.
I then, utilizing these techniques,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Wow." And within a short space of time, he well, we had a laugh because I said, "Do you want to take that noose off your neck before you accidentally hang yourself now?"
Oh my God. So you're like literally talking to him in the moment where he
Yes.
is. How did you even connect? Did he call you? Like, how did that
Yes.
happen?
Yeah,
He
he'd
called you.
called. Yeah, he called me.
Okay.
So I'm, faced with this FaceTime call of
Oh
seeing
my
this around his
God.
neck, going up to the
Oh my God.
finishing off a liter of vodka.
And how do you like feel after something like that?
After that one, I was exhausted, actually.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I was
And then
just,
like once you process though, I mean, does it feel like I would never say in a million years. People ask me this all the time. Well, was it worth it? Because of
Mm.
what you get to do now. And I'm like, no, it was never worth it. But there's a purpose in it. And like, how
Yes.
does that resonate with you?
Yeah, well, all, all the all the marvelous decisions I've made, good, bad, and indifferent, that
Hmm.
led me to being in the positions I was in and
Hmm.
have those experiences. I've got no regrets
Yeah.
because I'm in where I am in my life now. I, you know, I wouldn't be where I am without that.
Right.
It's part of what makes me who I am and how I am and capable of what I do.
Right. And
So
able to help people get off the
yeah,
chair and
I'm
take the
grateful
noose around
for
their
it.
off their neck. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful I
I feel that.
survived.
Yeah.
Uh, I certainly don't want to go for round four.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I think to properly answer your question, I think having that experience and being able to relate that way and to see that change in that person to kind of in them helping them to regulate what's going on in here and here,
Mm,
but doing it from a different perspective
mm,
and sort of guiding them out of that state into a more healthy state, even if it was just for a short period of time. That shifted something for me
mm.
because I it helped me to. It was like like game of Connect Four. and that everything just dropped into several things dropped into place,
Mhm.
and other things started to make more sense.
Okay. What started to make more sense?
That I mean, I'm not a fan of that expression. It's okay to not be okay, because actually, I don't think it fucking is. Excuse my French.
Yeah. Yeah, let's unpack that a little bit, shall we?
Yeah, I'm not keen on that expression.
Okay.
I don't think it is okay to not be okay.
Mm,
I
mm,
don't necessarily agree with the sentiment fully.
I hear you. And I've never really thought about it that way because not being okay, I think for periods of time is perhaps understandable,
Normal
but
under the circumstances,
a
yes.
hundred, yeah. But then, like for prolonged periods of time, it keeps us from
Yeah.
healing, it keeps us from living. It keeps us from, for me, I'm a spiritual person and a very purpose-driven person. So from
Yep.
my worldview, it keeps us from doing the work that we were, we survived to do or we've been put here to do. Um, so I mean, it sounds to me like that has been then what has been the guide or the maybe the propulsion for you to do this work and to keep leaning in, because you want not only do you want to be okay, but you want to help other people be okay.
Yes, because I don't think it's okay that people are not okay for extended periods of time.
Yes. So tell us about your work and what you do now.
So my work is based around um, the process that I developed, and I had all that finalized by 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I've been teaching it since then, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all based around emotional resilience in order to develop and maintain psychological resilience.
Okay. So what
What
does that mean to like the layperson?
okay, so when if we're not emotionally resilient and emotionally stable, and we're never going to be that all the time, but it's part of that is the acceptance that shit happens,
Mm-hmm.
things go wrong, we get overwhelmed. That's part of life, it's part of being human.
Yeah.
But we as human beings, we have this wonderful capability to put the brakes on things and go, right, that path is not bloody helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go this way instead of that way
Okay.
because this is the sensible route. That's the, I'm gonna make an ass of it if I keep going
Mm-hmm.
down that road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about I kind of how weird things and analogies come along the way as you're developing stuff. So I have this, it's weird. I hated maths at school,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a little equation and it's spelt AIR. We
Okay.
need emotional, and it's all based around emotion. So
Okay.
the A is emotional awareness.
Uh-huh.
We need to have emotion. We need to be right. Okay. All right. There's something emotional going on here,
Yes.
but then you need to understand it. So we need then emotion intelligence. And the intelligence is developing the understanding of what it is and what can I do with that? How can I
Mm-hmm.
channel it?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the emotional resilience is understanding that they are, they don't last very long. An emotion is a chemical cocktail produced in the brain in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It lasts up to 2 minutes.
Okay.
So if we're still feeling those feelings based on that emotional label and the label we placed on that cocktail in here,
Yeah.
based on our experience and perception of that, what's going on, if we're still feeling those feelings and sensations after 2 minutes, there's something we're doing to sustain it.
Okay. So how does one become emotionally aware?
Well, this is the where these techniques come into play is we're not aware, not necessarily fully consciously. We know something's going on, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And it's learning the ability to, when we're feeling uncomfortable about something, is to pause and question, right, what the hell's that?
Mm-hmm.
What is going on?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in my life at the moment that might contribute to me having these feelings?
Mm-hmm.
And then what's driving the feelings? What's going on in here? How am I thinking about what's going on that creates this emotional label? What label have I placed on this? That's the awareness piece.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
the
So
intelligence
really
piece,
just like questioning,
questioning,
stopping.
absolutely.
So I would, but because I want to get to the rest of the equation, but I would imagine that a lot of people stop themselves in the awareness phase, and I'll use my I words because sometimes I do
Hmm.
this,
Go for it.
um, by numbing out.
Yes.
Right? I'm feeling something. I don't actually want to know what it is because I don't know if I can face it. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm resilient enough to 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 deal with it. So I'm going to open up a bottle of wine, or I'm going to sit and binge Netflix, or I'm going to online shop, or I don't know, go eat a chocolate cake, whatever it is. And none of those
Yeah.
things in moderation are bad. But I would I can see in my own life how I've used any number of things to stop the awareness,
Yeah.
because I'm afraid I'm not resilient enough to handle it.
Yes. And this is it comes with practice, like anything. And it's to kind of leap forwards a little bit. What I say to people every time I teach, whether it's coaching or therapy, I teach very first session with a client.
Hmm.
I teach these techniques because they're useful for everyone
Hmm.
because we all get overwhelmed by stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And emotions are driven by thoughts.
Yes.
Um, and this is where the negative thought pattern interrupt comes into play, is that the thoughts aren't really the problem. We
Hmm.
have up to 80,000 thoughts a day, and every day those 80,000, 80% of them are probably the same as the one we had yesterday and the day before, etc., etc. We spin around the same crap over and over again.
Yeah.
But we have so many thoughts that just come into our heads and spin around and disappear off.
Hmm.
And we're not even really aware of them.
Hmm.
So the thoughts are not the problem. It is the emotional label we've placed on them that drives a certain set of feelings
Hmm.
to make us feel uncomfortable and crappy and sad or depressed or scared or whatever
Hmm.
that we don't like. And we try and push it away. And as you say, rightly say, numb it.
Hmm.
But we can only do that for so long. It will keep coming back.
Yeah.
So it's about changing the label we have, our perspective of what those thoughts are about, to change the way we feel about it.
Okay.
We change the way we feel about it, those thoughts are very different.
Uh-huh. So can we do a little role playing here, like real life role playing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I am feeling very overwhelmed. I'll give you a real life scenario. Last night, I felt
Okay.
like I was on the verge of like not really a full-blown panic attack, but feeling very stressed. My
Okay.
life is very stressful right now. My husband is working abroad. We're getting ready to move abroad in the next couple of months. So I'm at home alone with my kids. My one of my kids is sick. Um, I'm trying to empty out my house, trying to sell all of my worldly possessions and figure out what to keep in storage, how to
Yeah.
get my kids into school, how to transition them, how to keep my business. And last night it just all piled up. I'm not drinking right now. I'm trying to take really good care of myself and eat very healthfully and I, and I so I was just like it's all too much. It's all
Yeah.
too much. I feel and I kept reminding myself like okay, a negative feeling lasts for 90 seconds. I know that. I've heard that, but I was like there's nowhere to escape. Like it feels like it's all on me. How do I interrupt that negative thought pattern and stop attaching labels to it? Because the label, am I correct in assuming that the label is like I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, I can't do this. This is too much. This is too much.
Yeah. Scared. I'm scared. I'm anxious. I'm worried. I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Yeah.
All these things. I feel guilty. I feel a little bit of shame.
Yeah. All of it. Yes,
I'm
yes, yes.
excited.
Somewhere in there, maybe, I think. I don't know. So how
So,
do I interrupt that instead of losing my whole evening to like snapping at my kids and feeling, like I don't know, useless and like I can't do anything? How do I interrupt that so that I can like be at least calm, if not productive?
okay, so let me frame this first to help
Okay.
put it into perspective. It's so you're having you've got all these things going on in kind of one or two thoughts really.
Hmm.
Um, so if you kind of wrap that into one package of, you've got fear, anxiety, you've got a bit of guilt, you've got sadness, you've got
Yeah.
shame, because why should I feel that? Why am I feeling this way? All this
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
Yes.
I can't cope. It's too much. I'm overwhelmed. All these things. So if we wrap it into the kind of into a bubble of anxiety,
Yes.
because it's all that it all kind of fits under that umbrella.
Right.
So you feel you're anxious.
Mhm. That is true. That is a true statement.
True statement. Okay. So you've got this thought. I'm anxious, but again, this is one way of thinking about it, one way of feeling about it. Now, where have I got? Let me see if I can. I'll use this as an example. Okay. So
Okay.
this is an example I use
I promise
frequently.
I didn't bring you on here for free therapy, by the way.
No, it's fine. It's all good. So the end of this pen has a hole like a telescope,
Hmm.
and we get very blinkered and we look down one channel.
Hmm. Yeah.
This,
Tunnel
uh,
vision.
tunnel vision. Thank you. Yes, couldn't find that bloody expression of knew it was there somewhere. So that's that telescopic tunnel vision.
Yeah.
This is your yeah, what you see is the problem and you're anxious about. But
Hmm.
anxious is just that one tunnel vision and looking at it from that perspective.
Hmm.
You can be anxious about it and look at it from that perspective.
Hmm.
You've got all these different ways different angles you can look at it from
Hmm.
that give you a different viewpoint.
Hmm.
Even if it's all from an anxious perspective, you're still
Right.
looking at it differently because you look at,
Okay.
oh, that's a different, I haven't seen that before.
Okay.
And you might look at it from an anxious tunnel vision and go,
Hmm.
I've not looked at that bit before. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So what the negative thought pattern interrupt is about the thought's not the problem. It's the way you feel about the thought at this moment in time because you've got the blinkers on.
Mm. Okay.
Because
Okay.
a thought is not real.
Yes.
Even if it's about something that's happening in your life right now, like it is,
Hmm. Hmm.
the thought itself is not real. It can't do anything it can't leap out and, turn into Mike Myers.
Right. 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 Right.
It's not,
Yeah.
it can't kill you, can't put you in jail, can't get you pregnant.
Well, thank God for that.
So it's not actually, it's this ethereal thing that we
Mm.
feel can hurt us, but it can't
Yeah.
because it's only in here.
Yeah.
And it's only the label we have placed on it that
Mm.
drives this certain set of feelings and sensations in our body that we don't like because it makes us feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because of that, I want you if I you know that thought, those feelings, you could let
Hmm.
those feelings build up right now, couldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
Really easy.
teetering on the edge.
Past
Yes.
master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, on a 0 to 10 scale, 10 being worst, and you don't need to, I don't want you to talk about any of this. I don't want you to say anything. All I need you to do is just work with me here. What's that tip? The tipping point. So if you get to that point, going beyond it, it's clean up in aisle four.
Yeah.
I want you to only allow it to go to a maximum of 2 points below that. So you've got some wiggle room. You've got a buffer zone before the tipping point.
Okay.
Rather than get to tipping point and spill over, you've got 2 points of
Yep.
fudge factor.
Yep. I know exactly where you're talking about Because that's kind of where I feel like I'm living right now,
Okay. Yeah. So you're at the 2 points below most of the time.
most of the time. And then
Okay.
it
So maybe
went to
what?
like clean up on aisle 6 last night.
Yes. Okay. So the way this works is because it's one of 80,000 thoughts. And you
That
got
is
seven.
incredible.
I
Yeah.
know it's mental. You've
Yeah.
got 79,999 other ones that you couldn't give a rat's ass about.
Seriously.
It's but it's this one that freaks you out, that
Yeah.
makes you feel crap, and that's why
Ah.
I like analogies. So this this negative thought is like when the proverbial hits the fan,
hmm
and it's when it splays out, and it then all that stuff
Yes.
sticks to a woolly blanket. It's
Yes.
hard to get out,
Yes.
or it feels
Yes.
like it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insidious. It like
Yes,
it like um what's the word that I'm looking for? It just like soaks in, right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's cumulative, and it's as you said, it's insidious, it's sneaky, and it builds up, and it
hmm
builds up, and then bursts,
hmm hmm
and then you're like, oh.
Right. S-
So
So how do
I
we
want you
keep
to
from
let
bursting?
yes, I want you to allow it to build up to below your tipping point.
Uh-huh.
Let it build up, and as you do that, I want you to focus on where you feel it and how it feels.
hmm
Don't say anything. Just identify where you feel it in your body and how that feels.
hmm
And that's it. Keep your eyes open. I don't want you to get lost in it. I just want you to be conscious with it.
hmm
And now I want you to just say, it's just a thought, and say it over and over and over again, intuitively until you stop. And for some reason, you'll stop, get interrupted, and you can say it out loud or say it in fact, right, just before you kickstart, right. Are you going to say it out loud or in your head?
I'll say it out loud
Okay, so I'm going to
for the
time
benefit
this.
of our listeners. Okay.
Okay, so and literally just go, it's just a thought.
It's
It's
just a
just a
thought.
thought. It's just a thought. And keep focusing on how you feel it and where you feel it. Keep saying
Okay.
it. Say it, say it. Oh, it's just a thought.
It's just
It's
a
just a
thought.
thought.
It's just a
Just a
thought.
thought.
It's
It's
just a
just a
thought.
thought.
It's
It's
just a
just a
thought.
thought.
It's
That's it.
just
Keep
a
going.
thought.
Keep
It's just
going.
a thought. It's just a thought.
That's it.
It's just a
That's all
thought.
it is.
It's just a
Nothing
thought.
else.
It's just a thought. It's
Yeah.
just a thought. It's just a thought.
Can't do anything.
It's just a thought.
It's one
It's
of
just a
80,000.
thought. It's just a thought.
Whoopee shit. It's a
Thought.
thought.
It's just a thought. It
Yeah.
loses its power because it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Oh, that only took me 30 seconds. It's
Yeah.
just a thought. That is
So
so
what's going on?
powerful.
What happened for you to what did you feel?
Well, I always feel like when I have anxiety that I have an elephant sitting on my chest.
Okay.
That's always
Nice.
been my thing.
Comfortable.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. And it feels, I mean, it's ever present, but it feels like it's shifted, right? And it's not so heavy. And
Okay.
then the thing is like when I can make space for the truth that that one thought has been taking up all the space in my head, which makes me feel paralyzed because I can't get all the stuff done that I need to get done, right? Because
Okay.
all I'm doing is perseverating on the one thought of I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't know
Yes.
what to do. Then I am paralyzed and then I can't that it's like a vicious cycle, right? And that's what anxiety
Absolutely.
is.
Yes.
And so when I can clear that thought for the time being, then I can think clearly in terms of like, what do I need to do next? And
Yes.
then also, it's like, oh, it's actually not that bad. Like there's actually not that much that I have to do. And
Yeah.
what's the worst that can happen if I don't get it all done? And
Yeah.
then I can start to like look at things a little bit more objectively instead of just drowning in the emotion and the
Yes.
feeling
Yeah.
and letting it keep me, stuck wherever it wants to keep me stuck. And I think that this is so important for people who are surviving survival, right? And
Yes.
and again, I'm giving everybody who's listening a very intimate look into my life right now after having just undergone that exercise. And I thank you very much for doing that with me because I it will
You're
help
very
me get
welcome.
through my day. But like for those who are, coming out of the fog
Yeah,
of the trauma itself and they're standing on that ledge, right? Of like, now what? From a clinician's perspective and also a survivor's perspective, what would you say to them?
Whoa.
I know it's a heavy question
No, it's a really good question. It's
because I feel like this demographic gets missed. Like,
Yeah.
we're here for people when they're in crisis. And as a culture or society, and
Yeah.
perhaps maybe this is just an American perspective, but I do think it's like global. Like
Hmm.
I think we're good at being there for people when they're in crisis, but then we don't know what to do for them in the aftermath. And that road, as you and I both know, is very long, it's very arduous, it's never ending, or it feels like it sometimes. And I can see you put
Yeah.
your efforts into educating yourself, creating these practices that are very helpful. I feel so much better right now.
Good.
Like I've put my efforts into helping people tell their stories. So how do we help people find purpose again?
Uh, the thing that really struck me quite hard was in a really good way. People say, "I just want to go back to the way I
Oh,
was before, things were before,"
yes,
and
yes.
it's impossible.
I know.
This
It's
sort of
so
experience,
hard.
trauma changes you,
Yes.
fundamentally changes you,
Yes.
and if you allow it, if you accept it, if you embrace it, you can change yourself for the better
Mm,
because you're so much wiser about yourself
mm,
in terms of your capability, what your thresholds are, what
mm,
you're prepared to accept and not, how far you can push yourself and how far you want to.
mm.
And it gives you that flexibility and adaptability because you've been pushed so far.
Yes.
Actually, I'm not going there again. I'm not going to allow anyone or anything to take me to that point.
Yes.
I know where my boundaries are, and I will know
Mm,
when I'm going to say no.
mhm, mhm.
And that makes you a much more capable human being.
Yeah. I
And
love
it
that so
takes
much.
it takes time to get to that point. It really does. The one thing I don't with my clients, I don't. So if somebody comes to me for therapy, we do therapy until we mutually agree. Actually, I think we shift into coaching
Mm-hmm.
to help embed what they've learned in therapy into real
Mm-hmm.
life, into their
Mm-hmm.
lives.
Mm-hmm.
So then the space between sessions is extended
Yeah.
to allow them to go out and utilize
Practice.
these things,
Yeah.
yeah, all in real time in their life as they need
Yeah.
to, knowing that at some point in the early state they're going to have a wobble because they're going to get
Yeah.
overwhelmed because they're learning to do things differently,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll get overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
and they'll have a wobble, and the next session we come back and we discuss that and we talk through it and we go, actually, the wobble's fine. It's expected.
Mm-hmm.
I've merged two models together. One is the behavioral change cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and one is the four stages of learning, the conscious competence model.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to a point where there's a spin cycle. So we know what we're doing. We've accepted that we're consciously incompetent in what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and that we need to learn to do something new. And then the once you've got the skill, but you need to put it into practice. I describe it as having relapses. So you'll have a relapse. Life will have overwhelmed you a bit, and you have a relapse, and you'll start doing the old thing rather than the new thing. And
Yeah.
somebody will say, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be doing the new thing." And you're like, "Oh shit, right, okay, what am I doing again?" So you pause
Mm-hmm.
and refocus and go, "Right, okay," and you go back. The next relapse, you'll recognize it after it's happened rather than somebody else telling you. So there's a bit of progress because you got that
Yes.
self-awareness.
Yes.
The third one, see, then you pause and refocus yourself rather than being reminded by somebody else.
Hmm.
Pause, refocus, come back round. Third one, you kind of skid in sideways. Oh shit, not again. Um,
Hmm.
but you've seen it at the last second, so you pick
Yes.
yourself up, dust yourself off, pause, refocus,
Yeah.
come back round. The fourth one, you're like, no, I see you.
Uh-huh.
Nah, we're not playing that game. So
Yep.
rather than have the relapse, you pause and refocus. So you take the shortcut rather than the long way around.
Yeah.
Take a shortcut, pause, refocus, come back round.
Okay.
And
That
then that,
makes so much sense to me.
yes,
Yeah.
because we're human beings, we will screw it up.
Yes.
It's part
Yes.
of learning, and we are learning
Yes.
to be different.
Yeah. And I think that that is such a huge facet of the healing journey,
Yes.
allowing ourselves to just screw up. And
Yeah.
you got to get back up,
Yes.
right?
So
Yeah.
what if you do?
Yeah. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
Oh, I've got, I've got a long list of heroic fuck ups and failures in my life.
Same.
Bring it on. Yeah, absolutely. What's the
Let's
next one?
let's have a party and compare our lists, right? Oh my goodness, this has been such it's been so empowering. It's been so insightful. I feel so much better. Thank you so very much
You're
for
welcome.
like
Quickly,
the yes.
while I remember to ask you, before you started saying it's just a thought, on that 0 to 10, where were you?
I mean, I was trying to keep myself at like a 6 because,
Yeah.
I'm hosting a podcast interview, but like, probably before when I was like cramming breakfast down my throat and making sure my son, who's got a fever on the couch, like making sure he has I was feeling like very much like an 8, 8.5.
Okay,
And now I'm like, I mean, maybe like a 2.
good. Because a three on that scale is normal
Uh-huh.
everyday stress. Beyond that, we want to work to get back down to 3 or below. So the fact that
Yeah.
you're at 2, so you're a 6 to a 2. Wonderful.
Yeah. My mom, who is passed, she was a tremendous survivor of trauma and she dealt with clinical depression for, most of my childhood. And I remember her telling me when she was like on the other side of a really bad, I guess, episode, she would say to me, you just have to tell yourself over and over again, these are just thoughts and they're not real.
Yeah.
These are just thoughts and they're not real. And I had forgotten about that until we did this exercise. And so, thank you to the both of you.
Well, your mother was a wise woman.
Yeah, she worked really, really hard. Um, so Simon, how can people connect with you? I mean, you're in the UK. I mean,
Yes.
I'm imagining we have people listening from all over the world, at least I hope. Um, since you're a clinician in the UK, I'm guessing you can't practice, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like if somebody wanted to reach out to you for therapy, can they do that or for coaching?
Yeah. I mean, I've got clients as well, I have had clients as in Australia and New Zealand and
Okay.
Canada, US, and everything in between.
Amazing.
So there's the beauty of Zoom. You
Yeah,
can work.
yeah, exactly.
Um, so um, yeah, I mean, I'm on social media.
Okay.
It's at Dr. Simon Lee Maryan. It's as
Okay.
simple as that. I'm on. What am I on? Yeah, it's a good question. What am I on? Um,
Right now, I'm on caffeine, which is probably only adding to my anxious thoughts.
no. Well, now you know how to kick them into touch.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And Marin is Maryan, just in case anybody is wondering. But all of your information will be in the show notes. I really can't thank you enough. What a wonderful conversation and a great gift and contribution you're making to the world.
Thank you. It's very kind, and I've loved this. It's been good fun.
Great.
Yeah, really good fun.
Thank you for listening to How to Survive Survival. If you found something meaningful here, I'd ask for you to subscribe, share, or leave a 5-star review so these conversations can reach others who are walking their own road back. You can learn more about me and my work at www.jessbuchanan.com. And until next time, remember, what happened to you is only part of the story. What you choose to do with it is where your power lives.